that any reference of, in the future, a reference to a modern nation will start with the Gambia as an example. And we can do it. But how are we going to do it? And also, do we want to be a reference point of development just for 1 day or 10 years? No, we want to be a reference point forever. That is what we call sustainable development and achievement. Europe developed thanks to industrial revolution, but maybe that is many years back. Let us take Japan, for example. Japan, after the devastation of the Second World War, rose from ashes to the 21st century, from Stone Age to the 21st century. Why? Thanks to science and technology. Today, Japan is synonymous with innovation, with IT, with all gadgets that are electronic. Your camera that you are using, Sony, name it. Photography, modern telecommunications equipment, whatever you name it. That is why Japan today is an economic giant. And it has been an economic giant for so many years now. It has sustained that position up to today. Even despite the devastation of the earthquake that followed the tsunami that took place there as a result of the earthquake, Japan is still an economic powerhouse to be reckoned with. Why? Because of science and technology. South Korea today is an indispensable component in the oil industry. Most of the most complicated oil rigs for ultra-deep drilling of oil are built in South Korea. South Korea also today is a technological giant. So also look at China today. So how do you get to that level without education? How can you acquire this technological advantage if people are not educated? You have to groom your own scientists. You have to produce your own skilled workers. Without technology, without your own experts, engineers, scientists, the 21st century you will still be a follower. You don't want to be a follower, you want to be leaders. And that is why education is very important. Science and technology is very important. We declared this year because amazingly, and unbeknown to a lot of people, there's a lot of amazing talents, hidden talent in the community. People that maybe have not even gone to grade 9. And if you see what they can just build in their backyard, what they can come up with is amazing. And so, unless there is a forum or a platform that allows everybody to come out and showcase what you know, the talent that you have, you will not know the potential that this country has for great scientists and inventors. And that is why this year is dedicated as Year of Science, Technology, and Innovation, so that we give everybody who has something to show to come up, an idea to share. Because without science and technology, the world is not going back to the Stone Age. The world is going back, going towards the Golden Age. And this is the Golden Age of science and technology. So if we want to become the #1, the economic superpower that we yearn to be, we better prepare ourselves in the areas that will give us an edge and make it sustainable. Because, let me give you a typical example. I think you have an FM radio, also station. Imagine if I also had one, and I depend on your technicians. And come to Tobaski, you have a program, and I have a program, and I tell you to give me your programmers. Would you give them to me?
No, sir.
Why not?
Well, competitive edge.
Good. So that is why Africa has to move away from dependence on foreign expertise to be dependent on our own experts, because that is the most important thing. And that is why it is very important. And A lot of governments also shy away from this field because it's expensive. But it is cheaper when you train your own people than when you pay for foreigners who will just do the job half-heartedly. So the best for Africa is to train our own scientists. Remember that Europe came out of backwardness because of the Industrial Revolution. And so for us to regain our lost glory, we have to be industrialized.
So the fundraising event is slated for November 2nd, that is this Friday. Will you be attending?
You want to find out? Buy a ticket and go. If you want to find out where I would be, you buy a ticket. Yes. Of course, why wouldn't I go? Because this is, you don't know how much of a burden they have taken off my shoulders, the GPA, through their sponsorship. You see, on average, if you want to train a scientist overseas, on average, you're spending nothing less than $20,000 a year. So I don't have unlimited resources. I have to deprive myself of a lot of things to make sure that people go to school, and they go to school in the areas that we want. If you find out from the government itself how many people they're training to do science, it's limited. Do you understand? So when GPA came with this brilliant idea, I couldn't believe my ears. So whether I'm there or not, the most important thing is that we should all support this worthy cause, because they just as I do, that we sponsor somebody based on merit, not based on whom he knows or whom he knows, or whether we know him or know his parents. No, we look at the qualifications and that you are a Gambian. Sometimes even a non-Gambian who is in this country, we sponsor them to go and study because they are based in the Gambia, they are Gambians. You know, tomorrow you don't know who is going to benefit. Your cousin could benefit from it. Your nephew or your niece or your uncle, whatever, can benefit from it, or even your child. So let us all contribute towards this worthy cause. Because sometimes they say, I cannot go to this show, that whatever. That doesn't mean that you cannot contribute. You should contribute. Even if I don't go, they know I send my contribution. Sometimes I also send my contribution as well as buy tables and then go and attend. So it's not a question, this idea of if the president is not going to be there, shouldn't be there. That is unpatriotic. Because this is a worthy cause. Whether the president is there or not, contribute. But I say, if I will only contribute when the president contributes. Sometimes I'm also limited, I'm restricted by circumstances. Or sometimes also, most of the time I don't also want I contribute something to be made public. Because Allah doesn't want that. When he gives something for the sake of humanity, just do it for the sake of, let Allah know about it. So, whether I'm there or not, you should be there. Because at least I'm older than you. You are the generation that is supposed to benefit from what we do today. So you better come forward. Also, even if every Gambian gives $5, or even $1 to OPS, they can make a lot of money, and they would be able to pay at least 5, 10 Gambians to become scientists. It is very important. Don't say, oh, their ticket is very expensive, I cannot afford it. Just donate what you can afford. Even if it is $1, just donate it. If everybody does that every year, they will be able to at least have enough money to at least train 2 or 3 Gambians to become scientists. So it's very important. Because today, consultancy, most of the consultancies, we depend on foreigners who have no idea. Sometimes some of them may do it, but they don't even know what we want. If you build your house on your own, it will look better than when I build it for you, because I will build it to my means and the way I want it to be. But it is your house. You will build it with your whole heart in it. And that's the most important thing. So I'm not saying foreign expertise is not good. What I'm saying is it is cheaper and more cost effective and more reliable when you have your own son of the soil doing the job that foreigners are supposed to do for you. In Jola,